You know what? I have not even checked. We've got some people on Watchman Community. I have not even checked the Pastor Mike online. I am checking the Pastor Mike online email thing, and there's somebody that writes in and says, "I wish my husband would listen to this message today." You pray for him, okay? And I mean that. Pray for him. Esther, go read Esther, please. Go read Esther, and just pray about your role, okay? And I try not to judge people or anything like that, but just pray for him. Anyway, got some pieces of paper here. So a lot of these are sent to me via email. This was taken from the Daily Mail, Thursday, the 28th of July, 2011. The article says, "No porn or prostitution. Islamic extremists set up Sharia law-controlled zones in British cities." Islamic extremists have launched a poster campaign across the UK proclaiming areas where Sharia law enforcement zones have been set up. Communities have been bombarded with the posters which read, "You are entering a Sharia-controlled zone, Islamic rules enforced." The bright yellow messages daubed on bus stops and street lamps have been seen across certain boroughs in London, and order that in the zone there should be no gambling, no music or concerts, no porn or prostitution, no drugs or smoking, and no alcohol. What a travesty that is. What a terrible shame and a sham that is happening. Why should we be waiting on the Muslims to tell us that in areas that we shouldn't have porn, prostitution, gambling, liquor, alcohol, dancing, rock concerts, or anything like that? Good grief. I mean, can I be honest with you? It may not be a bad idea to establish Sharia law in some churches, because the churches won't do it with their dances and their gambling and their porn and their prostitution and everything that's going on in the church. Why did we sit around sitting on our hands waiting for the Muslims to show up, take over our neighborhoods, and say, in this neighborhood, we're not going to do that here? Thought I'd comment on that. Let's see here. What else do we have as far as pieces of paper? Caltech researchers create the first artificial neural network out of DNA. Artificial intelligence has been the inspiration for countless books and movies, as well as the aspiration of countless scientists and engineers. Researchers at Caltech have now taken a major step toward creating artificial intelligence, not in a robot or a silicon chip, but in a test tube. The researchers are the first to have made an artificial neural network out of DNA, creating a circuit of interacting molecules that can recall memories based on incomplete patterns, just as a brain can. Get ready for the singularity. You remember what that is? Remember what the singularity is? The singularity is the time at which the computers are going to be so smart, and we're going to jack the computers into our brains. They're going to use DNA as a bridge to join, to make us immortals, to make us live forever. Where you have to ask yourself the question, where is all this technology coming from? Where is all the smarts coming from? Nikolai Tesla will tell you, if he was still alive and not screaming in hell, he would tell you that the entities are teaching us how to do all of this stuff. The aliens, the whatever. Here's another one. Speaking of Sharia law and Muslims, American Muslim/Baptist leaders hold groundbreaking meeting. You know what groundbreaking is, don't you? When you break ground, that means you stick a shovel in the ground and you open up the ground in preparation that you're going to build something. So they're breaking ground right now in preparation for building. Go read Genesis 11. The article says, around 80 Baptist and Muslim leaders from across the nation gathered in Boston for a first-of-its-kind dialogue. January, you know, this is old. This is from 2009. Who sent me this? Who sent me an article from... So this is 2.5 years old. So they did it 2.5 years ago. Anytime you break ground on something 2.5 years ago, that means the building is well underway. They were in hopes of furthering mutual understanding and discovering areas of common ground. Let me do something. Let me show you what this looks like. I'm going to use my advanced technical skills. Okay, I'm going to hold this. This is. Well, I'll tell you what. This is high tech right here. Okay, see these two circles? This is. Let me write on here. This is Muslim ground. And this is Christian ground. You see that? Okay, Muslim ground and Christian ground. Okay, two different places, two different gods, two different Bibles, two different ideologies, two different everything. Let me show you what it looks like when they find common ground. See that? That is common ground. Guess who's in charge of that? If you've seen any of our videos and our teachings and symbols and junk like that, you understand what that symbol is. This little area right here that I'm shading in there, okay? That's what that is. That is called the mandorla. It is the fusion of opposites, and it makes a symbol for Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. I had about 15 people send me this one. Campus Crusade for Christ removes Christ and everything else from its name. Here's their, and this was a pretty neat little piece of artwork that somebody did. Again, I'm going high-tech here. Hold it up to the camera. Their old logo had a cross and a globe, and they said, Steve, is this even necessary? They took out the campus, the Crusade for Christ. They took all that out, and their new name is just Cru. Campus Crusade. And see, they're really hoping, let me see this, this is the from the Orlando Sentinel, and they've changed their name to Cru. And the quote from Stephen Douglas, who is the organization's president, said, this is the right time to embrace a new name. And this name meets our objective of achieving a greater level of effectiveness in ministry and completely removing Jesus Christ from everything that we do. No, he didn't say that part of it, but that's what he's getting at. We're going to hide Jesus. And the cross and Jesus, we're going to hide that. Because if people see you coming with Jesus, they're going to go, I can't handle that. And they're going to run away. And we don't want to scare anybody. We don't want to offend anybody. So they're just doing what all the other churches are doing. And they're just doing what contemporary Christian music has been doing. Take Jesus out, because everybody knows that you can just say you, and then everybody knows what you mean, okay? I love you, I worship you. That's what they're doing. They took Jesus out, and they just assume that since they say you, then they know who that's talking about. Did I run out of pieces of paper already? I guess I got to read emails. Let's go to... there was one here that I wanted to deal with today. Where was it? This is from the Pastor Mike online live type-in thingamabob. I don't even know what to call it. I can't find it. But anyway, somebody was asking me about... here it is. This is from Barbara. She says, do you put any stock in the current stories about the comet Elenin? E-L-E-N-I-N. And the answer is, no, I don't think I do. I have read everything, and especially from people who are probably not even saved, who are dreaming up all these ideas that the comet Elenin is actually a white dwarf star, and it's going to start the tribulation. It's going to be the fulfill. I've had 5 emails in the last 2 days. People, and they may have all come from, they may have just been forwarded from the same source, from people who are, they're saying that the comet Elenin is going to be the fulfillment of Scripture in Revelation chapter 12. And I'm saying I don't think so. Okay, read Revelation 12, and I just don't see comet Elenin in there. I don't see it. But people are making a big deal, and I want you to understand, we've been doing the Watchman broadcast for 2.5 years. And in 2.5 years' time, when I see things like this, comet Elenin, this and that and the other, fulfillment of this and that and the other, when I see that, I automatically just shut it out. Because there have been so many bogus claims on the internet for the last 2.5, and this goes back even before the Watchman broadcast. So many bogus claims about so many things going on in the world, and none of them have ever really come to pass. Now, here's another one. There's actually 2 questions from the same person named Jackie. Jackie asks, number 1, is there anywhere in the Bible that says a man should not wear a beard or be clean-shaven? The only place in the Bible that refers to that is under the laws or the conditions of a Nazirite vow, and it was only temporary. If you were taking a Nazirite vow, then you were not to shave your head in any way, and that included your facial hair. But when you went off the Nazirite vow, which was for an indeterminate amount of time in most cases, then you shaved your head and took the hair, and it was burnt with fire and this and that and the other. But there is nothing in the Bible that says you're not a Christian if you have a beard, and there's nothing in the Bible that says you're not born again if you are clean-shaven and don't have a beard. It's just not there. And then they ask the question, does the Bible say that a woman has to have long hair? I know it says it is a glory to God, but what is considered long? Now, that is an interesting question. The Bible does say that a woman, it is a shame for a man to have long hair. And let me just pull my headphones off here, and you can see my hair. I like my hair this way. In fact, it's getting just a little bit long, and haircut day is Saturday. And I mean, we typically are able to recognize when a man's hair is long, and likewise, we're normally able to recognize when a woman's hair is short. Now, I will tell you this: it is not necessarily a it doesn't prove salvation or disprove salvation. I came from Africa, okay? And most women are out there, they don't have the ability to grow their hair as long as European American women or Oriental women for that matter. I do know that in the poorest areas, at a lot of these schools, that the girls were shorn, their hair was shorn pretty tight. That has a lot to do with cleanliness, has a lot to do with lice and things like that, and it's almost a necessity that they treat it that way. I do believe that a Christian woman will want to respect the Scriptures and have a spirit in her that tells her that shaving her head and making herself look like a man is not how it's supposed to be. I do believe that a woman's hair should be longer than what a man's hair is. Now, whether that should touch her thighs or ankles or what, I mean, I don't think it goes that far. But normally we're able to look at a woman and say, well, she has long hair, she has short hair. Paul used the phrase nature. Doth not nature itself teach you? And I can look at another man and say, that guy's got long hair, okay? I don't have to measure it. I don't, anyway. But it's a good question, something to think about. Ariel says, love this music. What is it? There was a TV show back in the early 80s called Police Squad. It was made by the same people who did the Airplane movies. And it ran for a couple